If she had only been ugly.
Oh my God. Are we starting? My nose.
Well, you got to use the mic. We have microphones.
Is that how it works?
Look, get the
nowadays?
mic. First of all, the show hasn't started yet. You're already bitching. What is it? A decaf iced coffee with...
Are we allowed to smoke in here?
No.
I know this doesn't air for a few weeks, but on my way over here, I heard...
Can I introduce the show?
Before you do...
Oh, go ahead. It's a pre-log.
I heard the awful, horrible, horrible, sad news about Joan Rivers just on my way over here. And my first thought was, why couldn't it have been Dom Irrera? And then I could get out of this podcast.
Ooh.
I would do
realize
anything to get out of this podcast.
How we were scraping bottom to even call you. You realize that we were going to get the manager of the club. She was just hired 2 weeks ago.
The manager of the club
Yes,
said no.
I don't know her name. She turned us down.
The manager of the club said no, and I was next on the list.
You weren't next. You were below that. This is Elon Gold,
Hi, everybody.
one of my old friends.
We're
He's not
old friends.
We've been friends for a long time.
We've been friends for a long time, and that's why I can jest with you like that, because I actually love you, and I want you to live forever. Because you, like Joan and like Robin, you're a comedy
I'm
great.
teetering on death.
You're a comedy great.
This is
you know that.
Dom Irrera
Dom.
live from the Laugh Factory.
Hi.
And this man here is
It's
one
so
of my
weird
funniest.
I didn't mean to interrupt you saying I was one of the funniest.
No, go ahead. It doesn't matter.
It's weird to perform for an empty, dark room here. Because we're
But you're
so
not
used
performing. You're performing for them, the people who have so much time on their hands
that they can listen to
They can
us
listen
for an
to
hour.
us bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I am one of the funniest, but you are probably top, 8?
I'd have to say
Yeah.
7.
Like 7?
6.5. I don't know. I'm not done.
I think a few more people have to die before you get to that level.
Why do you got to bring it down?
I don't know. I'm down depressed.
What's with the cigar?
You know that I smoke cigars, Dom. You know that
In the
that's my
daytime?
thing. Daytime,
Not around
night,
your kids.
Not so much around them.
How many
but
kids you got now?
38.
You have 5?
38 children
38 children have spawned from
from this.
you and Schnasha.
I have 4 beautiful children. We'll get to them.
And 2 really homely ones.
Well, I don't want to talk about them. We put them back. We tried to put them back, but
Put back into the actual...
into the thing, into the hole.
Into the deep, dark hole of
Do you
love.
dress up for these things?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you just woke up.
I always just wake up.
I feel like your hair could have been better than it is.
You know, and I thought it was like a new look.
No, I actually put gel in my hair because I said I'm going to be with Dom, and this could be watched by hundreds of people.
I put minoxidil in my hair.
I use Rogaine.
Do you?
I use Rogaine. I use Propecia.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, what's working?
That's why I haven't had an erection in 3 years.
I heard about that.
You did?
Yeah. Your wife called me.
Did she? Because
she
it's been
doing?
like 10 years for you. So why would she call you? Why would she call you?
You're on the mic.
I'm on
today.
for
You
2
are
p.m.
hot. So why can't you do this when we're on stage in front
You
of a
know,
crowd?
I get intimidated by people. And now when there's no one here, I'm hilarious. I'm going to be all over you today, Dom. You're good with audiences.
Herbert Hoover. Do an impression of Herbert Hoover.
Well, you're good with audiences.
Yeah.
Me, not so much.
Yours is a personal thing. You're good with one guy with a couple of chairs with lights and cameras.
The biggest thing that's happened to me in my career
I was just about to ask you that
recently was I wrote an article that went viral last week about a hate incident that happened to me and my family.
I heard something about that.
Did you hear about that?
Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
Yeah, you hear about that? Now I'm doing Leno talking about my hate. Oh, this is good. Hear about this? Wait about this. The baby, Elon Gold, experienced a hate incident. Now, folks, what's a hate incident? Really?
See the talent? Do you see the talent oozing out of
There's
him?
talent oozing from me. There is talent oozing out of me.
So tell me about the hate. I love hate.
Well, hate is funny. Hate, when it's words and not bullets, it was scary at the time. But when you look back at it, you go, boy, that was hilarious.
So it was anti-Semitic rant?
No. It was anti-gay. I was walking with my wife and children.
Kids are all gay, right?
Oh, 2 out of 4. Oh. The girls, lesbians.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, I know.
How old are they?
I can't wait till they get older. We were walking home Friday night.
True story.
True story.
Stop you
and I don't mean to open with this because this is not a bit, but
It's always good to end with a hate crime Or to begin with, the hate crime story.
And here's the story. It was not a hate crime, as the police classified it to me. It was a hate incident. A hate crime is when
Physical.
Not only physical, it's when they threaten you. They say, "I will kill you." But when they just say, "I want you to die," it's not a hate crime. Which is like if you're a woman,
That could be a mortician.
right? Like imagine if you're a woman walking down the street.
I can't imagine.
You almost have the tits for it, though.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Imagine if you're a
Come
woman.
here, let me breastfeed you.
Walking
Suckle,
down, I'd
suckle
take
me.
anything at this point.
Suckle
Married 20
me.
years. We'll get to that in a minute.
20
years last.
Tell her I said hi.
So imagine you're a woman walking down the street and a guy, just a random nutty stranger, comes over to you and says, "I'm going to have sex with you." Is it any less disconcerting if he says, "I want to have sex with you"? No. And it's like, but there is the distinction in hate crime,
Right,
hate
in law.
incidents. Yeah, and in law, there's intention, where there's want, and then there's will, I will. So this car pulled up. It was a Mercedes full of, let's call them Middle Easterners.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah. And they just saw us walking home on a Friday night. We were dressed up in our Sabbath best because we had a dinner.
I didn't even
we
know
went
you
to.
wore those kind of clothes.
Every now and then I'll wear I'll put on a suit and I'll wear that. And we were
They pay us? They pay us?
no, we were clearly identifiable as Jews because I don't know if you see my profile, but
Well, you're not that Jewy for a Jew.
really, I'm one of the Jewiest. I believe is
Bruce Smirnoff.
That's true. He's the
a Jew.
Jewiest. But I believe it was Howard Stern who, when I went on his show for the first time, he said, "Elon Gold. Why don't you just call yourself Jewy Jewstein?" But it doesn't get much Jewier than that
Is that
name.
talented or what?
This is very exciting. I am with Dom Irrera, and it is an empty house, and this is the most laughs Dom has ever gotten. Anyway, so they yelled out to me while with my children, "Free Palestine," and which is, you want to yell that, that's your political opinion, go for it, enjoy yourself. But when then they said, "I hope your children die," just like you're killing children in Gaza, to which I was like, me? I'm killing children?
I'm in Los Angeles with my kids praying.
Right. I'm a comedian. The only killing I'm responsible for is right here at the Laugh Factory, the slang of these
seen
audiences.
him do it, folks.
And he's
I
seen
have
it.
seen the man
he's
do
seen
it.
me do it.
My hand to God, he kills.
The only bombing that I'm guilty of are the rare times
Never
that I've stood on
happens.
this. It's
but
never
if it
happened.
would, it would be him doing somebody else. He himself cannot bomb.
I have never bombed.
Not really, per se.
Yeah. So let's get past that. But it's sad that, like, I've put out videos and I've done, 10 Tonight shows now. And the thing that went viral is my hate incident. That's
Well,
sad.
Thank you, Greg.
You so much.
Greg, my
This
man.
is a iced coffee.
Nice coffee.
And yet, and I don't know if you're watching this on the TV because this is also
How
a
do
podcast.
it know?
No, because it was given to me in a hot coffee cup.
Well, the cup itself is more of an insulator, cold or hot.
Right, it keeps
It's like
it
a.
But when I want an iced coffee, I want to see. I want it to be transparent. I want to see cubes.
Well, you're not going to see cubes.
I'm not going to see cubes.
Only you could bitch about this.
Right? Like, the only Jews can find
Why you got to say Jews? What about you?
some, because that's what you're saying secretly.
Yes, quite
We
frankly.
could find something to complain about, even
It's
good
like
things.
think of a thermos.
I've talked about this.
But how do we know?
Where Jews even complained, if you read the Bible, the Old Testament.
Remember that joke?
What? Which one?
The thermos.
How's it go?
Well, if you put hot stuff in, it stays hot. If it stays hot, put cold, it stays cold. But how do it know? Go.
So was that on a Def Jam that I missed?
Yes.
So
Everybody's equal,
if you read the Old Testament,
which I do.
well, I know you do on a daily basis.
I'm not finished. Don't tell me.
Don't tell you how it
Tell
ends.
me what happens.
Oh my God!
You're not going to believe it.
You're not going to believe it. Well, it's funny. It starts with the world being destroyed, but then it ends even crazier. So Jews complain about good things. Like in the Old Testament, we were in Egypt as slaves, right? And we were like, we got to get out of Egypt. Then we get out of Egypt, and the second we get out, we're like, this sucks. We got to go back to Egypt. And it's so funny because we're wandering the desert, and we even had senses of humor back then because there's a line in the Torah that says, what, God, you brought us out here to the desert to die? We could have died back in Egypt.
Such a nice thing.
Right.
You couldn't think of something better.
Right. Could you believe that we had sarcasm even then? But here's what God does. If you believe this stuff, he starts having it pouring down food. It starts raining manna from heaven.
Yeah.
Yes. Raining
I had
food.
manna. There's a manna restaurant, you know.
Is there really?
In the
Is it free like the actual manna in the Old Testament?
No,
Oh, because this you didn't charge. God didn't charge. It was just free food, which is like, come on.
Well, you only pay him for delivery.
For the delivery charge. The food is free, but you know what it costs to get it from all the way up there to down there?
That's what I'm saying.
You have no idea.
Are you done with the kids? And
Wait,
the pain?
I'm not up to kids yet. We're still on this. So here's the thing. So it's raining free food, and everyone should be so happy, and everyone should be so excited, right?
By the way, thank you for inviting me to dinner at your house 10 years ago and never again.
You know that there's an open invitation, and you have never called me and went, by the way, I'm free Friday night. You're always on the road. You're always doing things. You're like, I'm free Friday night. I'd be like, come. That's it. Simple. Not this Friday.
I'm kidding.
But anyway.
This Friday.
So
this Friday's not good for me.
We're busy. We're packed.
A guy says that he was the lead singer of REO Speedwagon, Kevin, and he says, anytime you're in Vegas, let me know, because I'll fly there. I said, I'm there next week. He goes, that's not good for me. I go, well, why don't you tell me what's good for you, and I'll arrange it.
That's hilarious.
So
by the way, should I be playing to the cameras, or is this mostly a podcast?
Well, there's
audio?
plenty of cameras, so you're playing to them whether you do it or not.
Okay, fine. I don't
You don't have to
know-
look into this one. I mean, there's one over there, there's one over there.
Right, but it's just confusing to me
Don't
whether
be
or not...
confused. You got enough problems.
So anyway, it's raining food. And by the way, this food...
It's raining men.
Right.
Hallelujah.
That's another Bible.
Ouch. Ooh, ooh.
And here's the thing, Dom. This food could taste like anything you wanted it to taste.
Manna?
Yeah. It could taste like a rib steak. But Jews were out there going, yeah, but I need to see the bone.
It's
You know
too
what I mean?
salty.
It's too salty. I
Harry.
like grill marks. I want to cut into it and see that it's medium rare, or I will send it back. I want to know how many of my ancestors sent back.
Nobody's ever touched my knee on this
Sorry.
show. Nobody's ever touched a man with true balls. Go ahead.
I'm trying to do a bit.
Oh, God.
See, here's the thing. A lot of comedians will come on here and they'll just talk. They'll just be boring and they'll talk. I like to talk, but also throw in a bit or two.
Throw the bit in.
I'm trying to hit
Okay,
a punchline.
I'll stop interrupting.
And by the way, now it's not even worth it.
No, it is.
All right, but the punchline is, how many of us sent back the manna? Like, you know, they looked at it and they just went, I said, well done, and they threw it back up in the air. Anyway, it works better on stage. Wait a minute, where are we?
Well,
The point is, forget about that.
aren't you glad a crowd wasn't here for that?
You know what's interesting?
Even without a crowd,
It died.
It died, yeah.
You know what's interesting, though?
What?
The whole complaining thing, because, and this is the last joke I'll do, and then we'll just talk. But
Do jokes.
No, but
If you can't talk, if you don't have the confidence in your own personality.
But the joke, the joke is that we pioneered complaining, and this happened back when fire was discovered. And fire was discovered, everyone was excited about it. They were like, "Oh my God, fire! We can now, heat our homes and food and everything." Jews were like, "It's a little too hot for me. I
fire-
prefer lukewarm. Room temperature is more to my taste." But here's the interesting
Why
part.
do you got to do so many bits to mock the Jews? I find it very offensive.
It's not self-hating. And it's not self-loathing. It's self-loving. It's a tribute to the Jews. I'll tell you though, it's so interesting to me why I'm doing stand-up as
I wanted to ask you that.
and why there's so many Jewish comedians.
I could tell you that.
Because we love complaining. What is stand-up? I don't have to tell you. It's basically complaining for a living. We're complaining about our girlfriends, our wives, kids, religion, our mothers, politics. That's what we do. We stand on stage.
My mother, folks. You know what that's from?
It's crazy.
Do you remember that line?
No.
Love and Death?
Yeah, what? How's it
When
go?
the guys are volunteering, his brothers are volunteering for the war against Napoleon in Russia.
Yeah.
And he says, I'd like to go, but I get a yellow streak down my back. It's not vertical, it's horizontal. And then she goes, you will go, you will fight for Mother Russia. And he turns to the camera and he goes, my mother, folks.
Oh, God,
I love
remember
that.
That's so funny. Speaking of Woody Allen, I don't want to do bits here. And
Do bits?
I just...
Entertain. We've had a couple of fucking duds lately.
couple of duds, right?
Ooh.
People who just sit here
I
and
was
just
trying,
drink
man.
coffee.
I was trying, but everybody's not the same. Some people can't get up here and do bit after bit.
This is awful, by the way. This is awful.
Is that perfect going into your bit, you're complaining about the free coffee that you just got?
By the way, what is this? Comedian sitting in Victorian chairs drinking coffee, talking about nothing? Is that what this is?
I think so. I think it is.
Drinking bad coffee?
Did you ever do Seinfeld show?
It's interesting that you ask that because, no, I haven't. But Jerry, listen, we all know I do a Jerry.
Well, I don't want to hear about it. I want to see it, mister.
Well, on this very stage, the world-famous Laugh Factory, there was another hate incident, let's just say, where Michael Richards got up here a few years ago and yelled at the nice, lovely, young African-American gentleman up in there in the balcony.
Were you here?
I wasn't here because it was a Friday night and I keep Shabbos.
That means that they don't go out and use electricity and have any fun, and then the next day they party like motherfuckers.
That's so not true that we don't have any fun. It's actually a mitzvah, a good deed, to bang your wife on the Friday night.
It's a bissel of a mitzvah.
It's a bissel of a mitzvah. So right here on this very...
Mitzvah means like a good karma thing.
Right.
Just trying to explain to the regular people.
And when I saw the tape of Michael Richards yelling, spewing hatred... I got very upset by it.
Sheriff's a
I got very upset by it because a comedian shouldn't use a comedy stage for hate speech. This is not what we do. And I was thinking there were no warnings, like there were no hints.
Yeah, well,
that Michael Richards was racist.
No, he did it. He did an anti-Semitic rant at the Improv a month before.
That's absolutely right. It's weird. But here's the bit part, and I'm not going to do the bit.
Do the bit.
I'll start it.
Felix, it's not spaghetti. It's linguine.
It took us by surprise because there were no racist Seinfeld episodes, right? You never saw like down. Whoa. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Kramer. You know who just moved into the building? An N-word. Oh, no, there's an N-word in the building. We can't have an N-word in the building. What are we going to do? This is crazy. I know, Jerry. I'm scared. Anyway, I'm not going to do the bit. But
You're
the
so
point
fucking
is,
talented. Why don't you do this in your act? You do it at home. You do it for Shabbos.
why do things on stage when you could do them in your car?
Why do birds sing so gay? Why do what? You can do them in your car. Yeah.
Let's get back to you because you've had such an exciting, long career. I want to know what you feel. I've seen your HBO specials. I've seen you in movies, Ethan Coen, Joel Coen movies. What do you consider
Whatever happened to them?
To be a career highlight, other than right now?
Well, I think winning the first Ace Award.
Is that true for your special?
Yeah, because I was nobody, and not that I'm somebody now, but I'm more than I was.
Why are you all of a sudden talking like Jackie Mason? To tell you the truth, he's not a nobody, but he's a somebody. This guy started out as a somebody, then he became a nobody. Mister, are you paying attention?
Can I tell you when
Nobody knows.
I was in Florida, the comic strip in Fort Lauderdale, and it was late night. Jackie Mason's career was in kind of a lull. He had an overnight show, an overnight radio show. They said, you want to go hear him? Anybody want to go on the show? And I go, man, I'd love to meet Jackie Mason. So I get down, and he's introducing me, and he goes, I'd like to bring up a guy now, one of these talents. They come along every 10 years. A man who I saw, this kid's got it. Very rare talent. I'd like to bring him up. He's not here right now. Oh. And then he goes, this next guy, I never heard of him.
I never heard of him. I don't know what kind of a person
I loved it, you know, because I was so disappointed
that
he was giving me like a nice intro.
Yeah.
Fuck, I came all the way down here. I wanted to see the real Jackie Mason.
But here's the thing, Dom. He meant it, but he went for the joke. That's what you have to realize. He meant what he was saying, but said, I'd rather get a laugh than compliment
maybe
this guy.
He did. I don't know.
I guarantee he did. Because at the time, you were funny. But anyway...
when was that? I don't remember.
I remember being in the hallway of this very club when the great Rodney Dangerfield... Now, I don't do a Rodney, but when Rodney Dangerfield...
You're all right, kid. You're all right.
Apparently, you don't either. But
Oh, that's not bad.
It wasn't good.
What the fuck are they staring at, these cocksuckers?
He's in the back and he's watching me on stage. I happened to have been funny that night. God knows why.
I was there.
It was such a rare. I know. I was like,
nobody believes me.
Nobody believes it. If only Dom was here. So then Rodney, I walk out into the hallway and he's standing there. He's like wearing his underwear, the usual thing. And he's like, kid, you got it, huh? You know, and I only told this to a few people like Jerry and da-da-da. And he starts naming like big legends. He goes, but you got it. Here's my number. And turns out I was in an apartment on Wilshire. He lived like 2 buildings down in like one of the nice high rises.
Yeah,
That was
I
one of the
remember.
low, ugly. Yeah. And I was too afraid to call him because he was such a legend, so great. And also, but I regret it. I do regret it. Also, I didn't want to get sucked into his world, if you know what I mean.
You were a little too young to have been on his HBO specials.
Yes. Did you ever do it?
Yeah.
You did a Rodney.
Oh, fuck it. Launched my career. Whatever.
Wow.
Whatever it
You
was.
did a Rodney HBO
Yeah,
Young
that's how I
Comedian.
got people to come to comedy clubs.
That's unbelievable. Who else was on your show?
Schimmel, Dice, Hicks, Leifer, Lenny Clark, and Barry Sobel.
Oh my God, all dead.
Couple of them, huh?
It's sad. Why are comedians dying every other week?
We should start a fund. All of a
I
sudden,
think we should go on strike, personally.
I was in Africa recently. You know, it's all black now.
Oh God, I love that Gilbert joke.
I was walking down the street and 2 Jews walked towards me. I got so scared.
Gilbert is
why would I even bother doing an impression with
in
you
front
up
of
here?
me.
It's like you doing jokes in front of me. Like you doing humor.
I was gonna say it's like doing math in front of an Asian man, and you just went for the kill on me. I do jokes. You want to hear one of my jokes?
Yes, I'd like to hear one of your fucking jokes.
Earlier today, I cut myself shaving. Now I have a vagina. That's an oldie. I haven't done that in years.
How about the joke part?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
And then she says,
You are funny,
how
Elon.
many people are watching this?
Thousands and thousands.
Okay. And are we done yet? I'm joking.
What time
I'm
is
having
it?
a good time. It's only 2:30, which is the Chinese dental hour.
We have another half hour at least of
Oh,
joy
no.
and frivolity.
Here's the sad part. I've run out of material. I've run out of impressions. I don't know who
Did you
I
finish
did
the
Jerry.
hate story?
Let's not get into that. Let's
You're the
get
one that
into love.
started.
You're
Let's
right,
not
because
get-
I want to say how sad it is that was my
You
career
just wanted
highlight.
to do some bits.
That was my career highlight.
That's the biggest exposure you've ever gotten, a viral thing? About.
Biggest exposure. No, I actually did an accents bit that had 1 million views, and then NBC took it down because I stole it from a Tonight Show piece, and I put it on YouTube.
Oh.
And then, like, it was going viral, and then NBC went, no, God forbid should we help this guy out after we paid him SAG scale to be on the Tonight Show. That's what we get. People don't know this. We get like $580 to go on these shows. And like the least that NBC could do for us is let us put our stuff out online. You know what I mean? Like they're not paying us.
Yeah. Well, the thing that bothers me is if your kids were hurt. You know,
Are we back to the hate thing?
Well, I wanted to finish it. We can't do.
I'll tell you what happened. My
Here-
kids were rattled. You know, a couple of them were crying.
Oh,
they were
jeez.
scared. The car drove off towards the street where our house is.
Because you don't know what's going to come out of a car.
You don't know what's going to come out of a car. And the 10-year-old was like, I don't even want to go home because they drove towards our house. And they were scared. Once the police came, they calmed us down. So as it turns out, who shows up to our house? The one Jewish cop in all of Los Angeles, besides the other one in Malibu that stopped Mel Gibson in his anti-Semitic. Remember
Right,
that? It was
yeah.
a Jewish, like of all the
Was it a
police.
Jewish cop?
It was a Jewish cop. Of all the police to yell your
I
anti-Semitic
didn't even know that
tirade.
Jews were allowed to be cops.
Right?
But they were lawyers.
That's the thing. You know, I didn't finish my bit about lawyers and comedians.
Well,
you know why?
finish it.
You know why? So Jews are comedians because we get paid to complain. And what could be better than money and complaining, right? But the only other thing that we love doing besides complaining is arguing. That's why there's so many Jewish lawyers.
disagree.
That's not true. Jews love to argue.
I don't think they do.
Are you kidding me? We're doing a bit. We're arguing. That's why there's so many Jewish lawyers. Because like, wait a minute. All I got to do is show up, get into an argument, and whether or not I win or lose the argument, I still get a check. Yeah, and you're not going to believe this. You also get to file a complaint.
It's everything a Jew could want.
What could be better?
Nothing.
Not this coffee. I'll tell you that right now. Not this
bitching
coffee.
about the coffee.
I mean, it's like
That became like art imitating.
art.
Yes.
Art Garfunkel. You doing Art Garfunkel?
I do.
Let me see it.
Thank
Your
you.
hair's doing it.
Thank you very much.
I think your hair's
Our
doing
next
Art
song is Bridge Over Troubled Water.
I worked with Art Garfunkel.
I sang lead.
I opened for him in Toronto.
Oh, how sad.
Let me just say,
The man was not. You know who ignored me?
Yeah.
Dion.
Yeah?
Dion in the Belmonts.
is that true?
Yeah, I like did a show with him. I don't want to say I opened for him.
Right.
It sounds too embarrassing.
Right.
But he like totally ignored me. I'm thinking,
That's
fucking only Dion.
right. Plus, we're all entertainers. We're all on the show. Who's opening, who's closing, it doesn't really matter. But Art Garfunkel, can I just say, 1 hour of the guy who did the harmony as the lead is just not fun.
Right.
He did the harmony. He's the backup to the guy.
To Paul Simon.
Right. And then it's like, and then he started reading
Did he
poetry.
talk to you at all?
Barely. No, he was, we weren't allowed to go near him. Then he started reading poetry, and I'm like, I'd rather hear Jeff Ross and his little poems than this. You know what I mean? And I love Jeff. He's a friend of mine, but his poems are awful, let's be honest.
You know that Jeff Ross is one of the only people that was on this show who edited stuff out of what he said here?
Are you joking?
No, I'm serious. And the funny thing about it was,
wait, he came on the show.
And
then later said, "Can I?"
We tell you. I mean, I tell you like after the show.
Yeah.
If there's anything you didn't like what you said, we can edit it. It's not like 'cause I did Joe Rogan shows, 3 hours of it streamed out.
Wow.
You can't take anything back.
No.
So we give you that option just out of fairness to you. And Jeff had a bunch of stuff that he wanted out. And I was thinking, how ironic is it that the guy who does the filthiest jokes in the world about how much bigger can Cloris Leachman's vagina get?
Right. Or B. Arthur's dick get.
Yeah, worried about this. Isn't that weird?
And he came to you and he goes, "Can you edit out the part of where I said this, this, and that?"
Two people, Natasha Leggero.
Funny, nice, young, lovely
Yeah,
woman.
beautiful. She's up here. She does a great job.
Tits and everything.
She thought that she looked like a cancer patient because she had a bandana on. I thought she looked incredible.
So she didn't let you air it?
Well, we aired it, but then we pulled it off at her, at her wish. We're not going to force somebody to be on the fucking show.
By the way, once I get a look at this, I may have you pull it down.
I don't think this has a chance.
I'm not having a good nose day.
I don't think this has a
Some
chance.
people don't have good hair days. I'm not having a good nose day. I literally wake up and look in the mirror and go, "I'm having a good nose day. It looks smallish. It's like it's nice." Then it's like, what is this beak on my face?
I never thought of you as having a big nose.
Dennis Farina used to call me Schnoz.
Dennis Farina.
Yeah, the late great. I did a sitcom with him.
I love Dennis
It was called
Farina.
In-Laws. One of the greatest guys in the history of men.
A real guy.
A guy like you wouldn't believe. But sometimes you say that it's like,
he's a friend of Dreesen's.
Yeah, good friend of Dreesen's. But sometimes you say that, he's a man's man. Then you're thinking, so was he like a chauvinist? Was he a pig? No, he was a gentleman.
He was a gentleman.
He was a gentleman. And, he used to call me Goldie. Goldie, get that schnoz out of my face. Goldie, do me a favor. I don't like you. We used to have dinner together. We would just talk about Jews and Italians and just rag on each other.
Yeah.
Because we had love. Because Jews and Italians love each other.
All Italians are Jews that didn't make it.
That's hilarious. What I say about the difference.
That's a comedian. That's a comedian for you.
We're not going to
That's hilarious.
That's painful.
That is so funny. No laughter.
Is that weird? Is that good stuff? I mean, here's a guy who's Italian. He's talking to a Jew. And in a matter of seconds, he's got a zinger. Is that weird?
What's your easiest impression?
That one. Johnny Carson. Then Johnny is very, very close to Casey.
It's the same thing. It's like, when you're doing Casey, you just have to do this. Casey has a high voice and a low one. I'm Casey, Kasem. It's all up and then it's down.
But impressions are easy. My first impression, by the way, Julia Child, ever. Right. So, and let me just say this. Then
that was good, wasn't it?
That was pretty good. And then I watched what's her name? The greatest actress of our time?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep did the Julia Child movie, right? But then like a year later, she did the Margaret Thatcher movie, didn't change up the voice.
Really?
Right. Literally, this was Julia Child.
Well, she was on that roll. She
was on a roll. She couldn't get out of character. But it's like, no, it's not Julia Child. But it's like, so Julia Child movie, she's like, and now we're going to cook this fabulous sea bass. And then she's Margaret Thatcher. We're going to war. We're going to, when did you have to mix it up. If you're one of the greatest actors in the world, and she is, you got to say, okay, I'm going to do this kind of voice for this character, and then this kind of voice for that character. Am I yelling?
You're getting your panties in a bunch, as Eminem once said.
What were we talking about right before this? This is important.
Actresses who never changed their voice.
No, that's what we're talking about now. No, before this.
The hate thing?
No. It was important. We were talking about
your nose. Your nose. Right. Dennis Farina.
Oh, Dennis. Yeah. Anyway, Dennis was...
he was upstairs and he told me that he liked my act, and it made me feel so fucking good.
Wow.
I always respected his acting.
One time we were doing the show In-Laws, and after tapings, we'd all go out to dinner. And on this night, we were at this place, I think it was Kate Mantalini's, and their TVs. And it got late. It was 11:30.
Is that really closed now?
I'm not sure. But that's not important to this story or to anyone. And
Thank you for putting me in my place.
and on the TV, as it turns out, my first Tonight Show was repeating. And
What did you do on the Tonight Show?
I was one of those animal guys. I brought in cobras. By the way, I love how our biggest, like literally ISIS is about to destroy the world and there's Ukraine. But in LA, it's like top story, albino cobra on the loose in Los Angeles. Did you hear that today?
No.
I mean, you hear about this, folks? A cobra in Los Angeles, you know.
Do Leno. Do him as Leno. What?
These are LA problems.
I can't kid with you.
What's an LA problem? There's a cobra on the loose.
What are you talking about? We have mana coming in all over the place.
So Dennis, when it came to me, everyone was like, "Well, we should watch this." Dennis stood there. He turned his back to the TVs and put napkins in his ears and went, "I'm not listening to this crap." He refused to listen to me. That's how much we had a thing.
Oh, that's funny.
A love-hate thing.
Sounds like more love.
There was a lot of love. Believe me, we had a lot of love. We had a lot of love. But anyway, that's, by the way, I don't drop names. I don't have any celebrity friends. I really don't. You're my only celebrity friend. Dennis was a friend because I worked with him. And, you know, who else? Who do I know? I don't really know people. But they think that we control the industry. If we did, wouldn't I have a sitcom and wouldn't you be my next door neighbor? If the Jews controlled the media, wouldn't I be on TV right now and not on your podcast?
Well,
Let's be honest.
No, you'd be on my podcast plugging your TV show.
Oh, that's funny. We don't control anything. It's sad.
By the way, are you going to be performing anywhere around? That's like, you want to plug it?
I'll be here. We should go to the Laugh Factory website. I'm
Just
here
to
all the
let you
time.
know.
This is my home away from home, and I have a new Netflix special out.
So that's the kind of stuff I want you to get out on this.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It's called Elon Gold, Chosen and Taken, and it's I'm really proud of it.
Do not judge him by this performance. He is
not
terrific.
A performance. This is a chat.
He is terrific.
We're having a chat.
I am at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club.
Is that true?
Yes, in October 20th, around that time, that week.
Wow.
And then I'm at Governor's and the Brokerage in Long Island, which is really fun for me because it's like going back to Philly without the comps. You know
Can
what
I
mean?
just say, if you haven't seen Dom live,
See him now because he's dying.
he's got 6 months left.
Max.
You have to see him live because it's just, you know what is almost as funny as your great bits is your rapport with the audience, is your ability to just, so you're quick. I'm okay on stage with people. I wouldn't call myself quick. You know what I mean? Like Joan was quick.
Yeah.
And you are just so on it. And even though you haven't said a funny thing in 43 minutes, normally when there are
This
people...
has only been 43 minutes?
Oh, God.
My God.
Normally 44. Normally when there are people here, you are just so quick. And that's the fun thing. People like that. People don't just want to see an act. They
Exactly.
also want to be part of the show.
My ideal set would be, I'm so funny that I didn't get to my act.
Oh, God.
You know what I
that's
mean?
great. That's great. But
it's
that's
harder to do in a real big room. In a room like this, you can do it.
Yeah, but then again, if you're just burning time and not material, it's also, I feel like you're not cheating the audience, but the audience does want you, they want to hear your greatest hits, they want to hear the new stuff, they want to hear your take on what's going on. So it's like, you can't just play a crowd.
You're not cheating, you're reprimanding them.
You're reprimanding.
Isn't that horrible when comedians reprimand an audience? Shh.
It's
enough.
the worst. I used to get angry at audience hecklers.
Yeah, fuck it. Don't get angry.
Yeah, I'm over that. No, that was in the first few years.
You know what
I had one puff. Can I light this?
Yeah.
That was the weakest
It's gonna make me
ever.
sick. Well, it's gonna make me
Only
nauseous.
Dave Chappelle, who's one of the greatest in our
You do a Dave Chappelle
time.
too?
No, man. Only Dave Chappelle could go on stage anywhere with cigarettes and no one's going to stop him. It's incredible. I think if Seinfeld whipped out a cigar and he smoked cigars, he'd be like arrested and taken off. But Dave Chappelle, you can't fuck with that guy.
Yeah, I love Dave.
Can you say the F word on this podcast?
Yeah, the only thing you can't say is cunt and stinky cunt, hairy, stinky, smelly twat.
You heard my story about the
Tourette's.
You heard my story about the 2 terrible words, cunt and nigger, right?
What's that?
This is a true story because you asked about my kids. And I did.
Wow, can't wait to hear this tie-in.
And I did talk about this. I do talk about this in my act. In fact, it's on my new Netflix special. But my my
He always
9-year-old.
talks to the same non-people.
Where are you from, sir? What do you do?
I'm from, actually, I used to live in New York City, and my family moved to Florida.
What do you do now, sir?
I don't do nothing.
So you're retarded. I mean, retired.
No,
Anyway.
no, you were right the first time. I'm retarded. That's why I came to see you. I can relate.
Isn't it easy to do crowd work sans the crowd?
Yes.
So my 9-year-old comes home and he says to me, "Daddy, I learned 2 really bad words." I'm like, "Okay, I'll be a father. I'll tell him how you can't say these words." But I'm expecting,
You must be a fun parent, though.
I'm not fun all the time. Look at me here. But like I'm expecting F-bombs. I'm expecting anything. But he goes, "They're so bad, I can't say them. I'm just going to spell them." I'm like, "Okay, go for it." And he goes, "K." I'm like, "K." I'm going through the list and there's nothing.
Cunt.
Right. I go,
That's the
"Keep going."
German.
Yeah,
German.
the German spelling. Und there's a cunt. they do spell their C's with K's, don't they?
I think so.
They certainly knew how to spell kike with the 2 K's. But anyway, he goes K-U-N-T. And I'm like, oh, God, because now I got to give him a spelling lesson.
Hund.
Right. Und the Kunst. And I'm like, okay, that's crazy. Like, first of all, who said this? He's like, oh, this kid. And I'm like, and it's a C, and I got to teach him right. And he's going to have girlfriends, and I don't want him to, like, when they break up with him, he's going to text, "You're a K-U-N-T." And she's going to be like, "And you're a stupid asshole. I don't even know how to spell cunt." So I taught him it's C. And I go, and I want you to know it's a very, very bad
Never
word.
misspell that word again.
Ever again.
Yeah.
That's a word that very, very mean men use in a derogatory way towards women. And he goes, "Wow, Dad, have you ever used it, like with Mom?" And I said, "Not to her." About her.
That was a good joke.
That's a good joke. It kills. But anyway, I promise this happened.
You don't have to say it kills.
No, it does, though. But I promise this happened. So he goes,
I'm also at Bananas at the end of November.
doing this bit
Yes.
about my children. And then I said, well, what's the other word? And he goes, "This one's worse."
Worse than that?
I'm like, there's no word worse. And he goes, "I'm going to have to spell it, too." I promise this is how he spelled it. I promise you. He said, N-I-C-K-E-R. And I'm like,
Knicker.
yeah, knicker. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me with this. I said, first of all, it's 2 G's, okay? Because, again, got to
Well, you
teach
didn't
him
even
right.
say a G.
No, he said CK, but it's 2 G's. Everybody
Right.
knows that. And when he around his black friends, I don't want him to be like, "Yo, where my knickers at?" It'll sound like an idiot. So he says 2 G's, and I want you to know it's a very, very bad word. That's a word that very mean white people use in a derogatory way.
Not necessarily white. Black people use it more than white people.
All right, but that's a word that when it's used in a derogatory way,
Have you ever heard of rap?
towards black people, and he said, "Wow, Dad, have you ever used that?" And I said, "Not to them." And then the punchline to that bit is
He tags his own punchlines.
the punchline is, and just so you know, the word that you were trying to spell, knickers, which is actually with a K-N-I-C-K-E-R, knickers, those are actually those 3/4 length pants that faggots wear. But we could say faggots in our house because my brother's gay and we love him. He has a
That
gay
gives
uncle.
you a right to say.
No, you didn't know that? If you have a gay member of your family and you are loving and accepting of them, you can say faggot. Same is true if you have a black member of your family, you could say faggot too.
Well, I was married to a Jew bastard.
Is that true? Is that true, by the way?
Yeah.
You were, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
She didn't understand my hobby.
Fucking other women?
Why do you have to say fucking? Yeah, Lisa.
Is that true? I remember a lovely girlfriend you once had.
Oh, Sophie.
Yeah, you brought her to my house. What was she? Spanish?
French Canadian.
French Canadian.
Oh, God.
You think about her still? I do. Anyway, I know I do. Anyway.
She's pretty, wasn't she?
She was beautiful. I think she had like that Sophia Loren space between her teeth, right?
But she had the lips, like those halfway to
Right.
a blowjob lips. Like,
Right. Oh, always. Like, I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm ready when you are.
I said to her one time, I was fucking and kidding around. I go, Soph, how do you stay so fresh? She goes, I don't.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm a little stinky.
Right, that's fun. I love that, and I love cross-eyed women because their eyes are always in blowjob. You know what? They're always like,
Yeah.
they're ready. They're ready to.
Ready to
She
whomp
had
on
that
that.
adorable space between her teeth.
Never noticed.
And one
that.
between her tits. I don't know if you noticed that. There was a cute space between her tits she had.
Tits is so much of a better word than titties.
Oh, God. Titties is a funnier word, though. Tits.
Titties
Here's
sounds
the
like you're
thing.
7.
Can I explain something to you about that?
Yes, with the touching.
I think that tits is the sexy version of it. So it's like, oh, show me your tits.
Fucking nice
If you
tits.
say to a woman, show me your titties, she's going to run.
She's going to try and breastfeed you.
Right. But on stage, when you just go, oh, look at those titties, it's funnier than look at those tits, which is actually kind of disgusting to say to a woman. But hey, nice titties. That's funny. Tits.
You giving a lecture on funny now?
I'm giving a lecture now. You know what's interesting, though? The difference between tits and breasts. Because tits.
Breast is more mother-like, softer.
Right. And it's also, chickens have breasts. You know what I mean? Like women have
Where
tits.
the fuck's he going with this?
No, here's it's an almost bit.
Have him on the show.
Chickens
The
have,
man's a lunatic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
like, imagine if you went to like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I'll have the grilled chicken tit. Right. So breasts, that's a chicken word. Or you breastfeed, tit feed, like, or the motherly, like you
Well,
said.
no, it's a sex thing as opposed to.
Right.
Do women get turned on when their kids sucking their tits?
No.
Oh.
But when kids suck on your dick, that is like, wow. And I've seen that. I've seen you do that.
He's on the edge, isn't he?
Oh my God, do they love a good dick
you
sucking.
get in a lot of trouble for that.
I could? When you've done it before. I understand that you weren't molested and you grew up in the Catholic Church and you weren't molested.
Are you going for one of my bits?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out of you.
No way.
Say something funny.
I love your act. How's that?
What
You've
happened?
been very good on this show, by the
I'm
way.
all right.
No,
I'm trying.
I'm telling you.
Here's the thing.
You're very good on this.
I'm trying. Here's the thing with me.
Yeah. You're not ashamed. You're not ashamed to. Rob Schneider was like that in the sense that he would show his talent,
Right.
and not hide. Well, I don't do that here.
I'll tell you why. When I care, it comes out, and I care about you because you're one of my heroes. So I'm not just going to phone this in. I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna do bits for you. I want you to enjoy this, and this is your show. So why not have a good time on it? What am I gonna sit here and talk about? Like a hate incident?
Yeah, you already did. That was half of the show.
Yeah, that was the first half. But the second half's been hilarious.
What's the hardest?
What happened with you with the Catholic Church? What happened? You talk about this.
I don't remember.
Nobody ever touched you?
No,
Why?
I wasn't hot enough.
What were you going to ask me?
What's your hardest impression?
If it's hard, if it's
Do you
difficult,
sing?
A little bit. If it's difficult, my favorite singing impression is Neil Diamond, though.
Can I hear it?
Yeah, but by the way, if it's a difficult impression, I don't do it. Impressions are something where like they come to you. It's not you can't work on it.
Well,
really.
it's talent.
You're born with.
See,
this.
I can only do impressions of an impressionist.
That's funny.
It's true, though.
But
I
that's
mean,
true. Yeah. Once you see the hook, it's easy to steal. That's why you can steal an impression. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But I was just talking about this with someone else. How like, can you steal impressions? I know you can steal material, but can you steal impressions? It's like, of course you can, because first of all, when you find the hook and when you figure out what it is that makes a distinction and that you can impersonate, it is your own thing, and you make it your own. And people have their signature impressions, right? And the whole thing is, you don't want to see a guy, like I pride myself at doing impressions that not everybody does. So like, the Goldblum or Howard Stern or whatever. You don't see that a lot. Now you do because they've all
your
stolen it.
Goldblum is good, yeah.
I'll get to that in a minute. But what I realized recently, and this is it's an interesting analogy, that impressions are like magic tricks because it's an illusion, and it's like, how do you do that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And when you see a magician doing a magic trick that you saw 5 other magicians do, it's boring, and you don't want to see that.
Jack Nicholson.
Right. That's why I would never do that. It's like we've seen this trick before, and that's why comedians.
That was the 80s. Everybody.
Purist comedians frown upon impressions.
I don't.
Like they do props or magicians, because impressions are magic tricks. And it's like, no, you need to talk. You need to expose your soul.
I love
really?
magicians.
How about just showing some of your talents and having fun with different voices? Was Robin Williams not great, or Eddie Murphy, or Billy Crystal, or anyone that did impressions that are legendary comedians? Me?
You do impressions.
It's funny that people frown about, the Mark Marons of the world. They frown upon impressions.
We'll watch it with Mark Maron.
You heard me.
I love that boy.
Whatever.
You don't love Mark Maron?
I've known Mark for 20 years. He's not one to love. I like him.
I love him.
Yeah, I like him.
I love his pain and his angst.
Try living with it.
You lived with him?
Not really, but I did a lot of gigs with him. I kind of grew up in comedy with him in Boston when I went to school at BU, and we would always have gigs. And that kind of pain when it's a 3-hour car ride to Bangor, Maine, it's no fun.
I remember going to breakfast in Kilkenny, and me and him would be the only ones down there because we couldn't sleep.
Right.
The first thing instead of saying good morning, he would go, "They hate me here."
Oh, God, that's funny.
Yeah.
See, you have pain. We all have pain, but you're still fun, and you're still light, and you're joyous and funny. He's a funny guy, and his act is funny and all that, but I've never been attracted to dark comedians. I think that Lenny Bruce is the only dark-ish comedian that I liked, but other than that, and by the way, he wasn't even hilarious.
Well, I've never seen Lenny Bruce be funny because I only saw the movie,
right, where he's
the
just
political
angry
stuff.
Yeah, well, some of his bits were like unbelievably funny.
But Mark Maron, I had to call him because I know he wouldn't steal from me.
Right.
This is not an accusation.
Right.
But I had to tell him, this is how comedy gets so stupid, that he's talking about his dog looking at him and taking a shit. And like, why do you have to look at him? Something like that. And I used to do a bit of my cat looking at me, taking a
He
shit.
figures, well, Dom talks about cats.
But I don't think he did that.
No, he didn't steal. He doesn't steal.
But it's just so funny that I had to have that conversation because I didn't want Mark to see me do it.
Right.
And think that I stole it. I'm not going to steal. If I'm going to steal something, it's going to be about an animal taking a shit.
Exactly. He's a good man deep down. But just there's too much anger there. There's so much anger. By the way, I'm also angry at him because he hasn't invited me to his podcast. If I was on his podcast right now...
This is not exactly a good way to get on it.
If I was on his podcast right now, I'd be talking about how much I don't like hanging out with you. You understand? I'm just fickle. I just, wherever I go...
you blast the other
No, I'm fine. I don't need to do his podcast. Mark's a guy that we've been friendly for 20 years, and we know each other, and we get along. But again, if I was choosing a best man at my next wedding, it's just, he wouldn't
Willie
be the
Mercer?
guy. Probably Willie. You know that I'm Willie Mercer's best man at his future wedding.
He's getting married, huh?
I introduced him to the lovely
Stripper?
young lady. She's a beautiful young chiropractor from Florida.
Really?
Yeah, and I met her. And
I'm so glad to hear that he's happy.
Nice? And I'm the best man. Willie's my manager, and he used to help run the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival that you're a big part of. Huh? Jews pour rire. Or as I like to call it, Jews pour rire.
Just for laughs.
Just for laughs.
Just pour rire.
Have we gotten one laugh in 58 minutes?
I'm telling you.
We've done well, right?
Yes.
I did one of these weird...
but you're not following anybody strong.
Oh, God, that's funny. That's when I could do well.
Yes.
When I followed nobody.
Some of the podcasts we've had lately have been a little bit long in the tooth.
Right.
Having you on here, it makes you look that much better.
That's funny.
Like if you had to follow Bill Burr or somebody
good.
like really good, it wouldn't be nearly as good as.
Love Bill Burr.
Taking a long way around. You've been great.
I actually like following. I spent the summer at the Comedy Cellar, and at the Cellar, everyone comes in. Chris Rock and Seinfeld and Louis, they're there. I love following them because there is such a level of excitement.
Well, you have an advantage too. You can actually do them.
Right. Well, I did that. Oh, that's funny. I did that. Ray Romano this past summer came by the Comedy Cellar. And it was...
that was a big club in Ray's career.
Yeah. And it was Ray popped in, and then Louis, and then it was Greer Barnes, and then me. And I get on stage and I say, wow, what a night. What a night of comedy. You people are lucky. I mean, to see Greer Barnes and me in the same show. And then I said, Louis comes here all the time. It's his club. He does it on the show. He features it, and he's here like every night. I said, but Ray Romano, this is his hometown club, but he hasn't been here in years. So this was a treat for him. And he's such a sweet, sort of timid guy, and he's always feeling sorry for everything he's doing, that he came over to me. He didn't want to bump me because he felt bad that he was bumping me. But he can't. Once you've had a huge sitcom...
But he bumped you anyway?
Of course he did.
I don't like that.
But the point is, he was nice about it.
It's not the Ray that I know.
No, but he was nice about it.
I would never let him bump me.
And he was apologetic. He wouldn't bump you. But he was apologetic. So I get on stage and I told the audience, I go, Louis is always here, but Ray is so apologetic that it's hilarious to hear him apologize for 10 minutes. But so right after Ray got off stage, I did a 3-minute to the audience. Ray, I feel bad. I didn't mean to bump you, but I'm more famous, so I have to, but I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is that Ray Romano singing?
My only singing impression is the Neil Diamond.
Will you do the fucking Neil Diamond?
Well, I talk about how it's very upsetting to me that around Christmas time, I love Christmas music, and nobody loves Christmas like I do. And I mean it. I wrote a whole article about it. Didn't go viral like the hate incident, but it was literally cover of the Jewish Journal why I love Christmas, because of the Christmas spirit. And I love saying Merry Christmas, but like, how dare any of those PC assholes take away your right to say Merry Christmas, because it would offend who? Certainly doesn't offend Jews, I'll tell you that right now. It's like when I hear Merry Christmas, I'm happy.
I was married to a Jew, and she celebrated Hanukkah and Christmas.
But that's fine. But whether or not you celebrate, if someone says Merry Christmas to me, I'm not going to be like, I don't celebrate that. How dare you? I'm offended. No, you go, Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
And it's like, oh, you didn't know I'm Jewish, whatever. But also, I love saying Merry Christmas. I also, that's when I have what I call goy envy, Gentile envy.
Yeah, I know what goy is.
Yeah, I want to walk around saying Merry Christmas. I also want to be gay the month of December because it has those 2 S's. I just want to walk around being like, Merry Christmas, everybody. It just seems like...
I'm serious.
I'm serious. This is going to be a fabulous Christmas. I want to be a gay goy the entire month of December, just walk around saying that. But it brings...
And your brother's a faggot.
Yes. It brings joy to people to say Merry Christmas. I love Christmas music. I love Christmas lights. I love everything about it. The only thing that pisses me off, though, is while I love listening to Christmas music, and I have 103.5 here in L.A., the entire month of December, I got it on. The whole month they play
That's
Christmas
funny.
music.
I never knew this.
Yeah, a whole month. I look
You're
forward
like a
to
Deste Fidelis?
Yeah, literally from, I think, Thanksgiving to January 1st. It's nothing but Christmas music. Really? We're doing a professional show business show, and you don't turn your phone off. I turned my phone off for this. I turned my phone off. Who's that, Mark Maron? Has he heard about this already?
It's Julio Machosa.
You going to take it?
No. I'll call you back in a few minutes, Julio. I'm on stage doing a show. Yeah.
This is unbelievable, people. I mean, what you're witnessing
brother.
now is complete unprofessionalism. Okay. It is unprofessionalism. And you wonder why the networks haven't given him a talk show yet, because in the middle of hosting The Tonight Show, this guy would take a call.
I took the call to say I couldn't take the call.
Wasn't that nice of you?
Because I'm in a very special moment with a very dear friend of mine.
This moment right here, that clip from you taking the call to me yelling about you taking the call, that should be the promo to our episode. If you're going to take a 30-second clip and go, I had Elon Gold on my podcast, take a look, that's it.
My friend Julio.
That's the clip. Are you going to use that clip as the promo clip?
He's a Cuban refugee.
All right, then save him.
These people, they came from Cuba. Right. They're exiled from
Is he missing an oar? What happened?
Is he missing a what?
An oar?
No. What is he got to make? Mocking?
Yeah.
No, he's missing.
Well, what's he calling about?
We're watching football tonight.
So anyway.
Whether or not he should bring the spread.
What bothers me
the dip
about I didn't button my last button for you. What bothers me
I appreciate that
about
very hot.
While I love Christmas music, I wouldn't mind hearing a couple of Hanukkah songs other than Sandler's, which is a hilarious, great song. But it'd be nice to also have a few of our songs on the radio, but you never hear it. You know why? Because all the great Jewish songwriters are too busy writing
Christmas songs.
Right, because that's where the money is. I mean, let's be honest. Barbra Streisand has an album called I'll Be Home for Christmas. Why? Has she seen her profile? I mean, seriously. And then Neil Diamond, a big Jew, right?
Finally, we're getting to it.
Neil Diamond, every year, Neil Diamond.
Pay attention to this.
He gets up there and he's like, jingle bells, jingle bells, oi, 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 vey. And it's like not fair because you know.
Oi, oi, vey.
Right.
Vey, ishmir.
Wouldn't it be nice if he did? Wouldn't it be nice if you see the reverse? Like if you saw like Willie Nelson doing Hanukkah songs, like, I had a little dreidel. And I made it. Or maybe like Frank Sinatra sings Passover.
It's impossible.
Who knows one? I do, damn it. Or maybe like Harry Connick Jr. singing about our holidays. It's beginning to look a lot like Sukkot. I bet you don't even know what Sukkot is. Sukkot is one of the obscure holidays that the Goyim don't know
Sukkot is
about.
when all the
huts. We go out in the hut. And
angels came down and sucked the tits off. the people and the Bissels and the Schmiggles and the bar mitzvahs.
Why do you think that microphones are shaped exactly like penises? I mean, like with a head.
I don't have a grating on my penis.
Right, you don't have this. But like, I mean, literally like, mics could be anything. First of all, they don't have to be this thick. They don't have to have a head. It could be like, a mic could be like this, and it could just be like, hi, how are you? Hi, how you doing? Right? This could be a mic.
Yeah.
But they had to make it, we have to look like we're almost giving blowjobs.
The technology's more advanced now.
Right.
Than when these were made.
But
we can't end this fucking podcast on this.
No, I think we should, because I think that
your laughs
sound
per minute.
engineers were angry at comedians. They must have been jealous that they were just sound engineers and they couldn't get up on stage. They didn't have the balls to get up on stage. They're like, you know what I'm going to do to these comedians? I'm going to make it look like they're sucking a dick every time they get up on stage. That's what I'm going to do.
Can I say something about having you on the show, first of all?
Go ahead.
I fought hard to get you on the show. Nobody wanted you. None of the staff, Jamie. And I'm glad that you came through for me.
Curiously, I was a last minute. You called me 2 days ago. This was not like, hey, Elon, in 2 months, and you know, could you hold this date? This was like, what are you doing Thursday?
No, actually, I said, what are you doing tomorrow?
Right.
And there was.
I was trying to make it sound better. Why are there people yelling in the back of this club?
There's a show going on.
We've
Hello.
got a show here, people.
Hello.
This is among the worst coffee I'm
glad you
had.
appreciate it.
It's okay. This is literally...
Don't say you're sorry. Then that's something else we got to deal with.
I'm not going to even say where this coffee came from because the establishment was shut down, as it should, for serving this.
Don't plug it. Don't plug it.
Mm. It was nice of you to treat, though. And
who is that?
Oh, my God. It's the Black Jew.
Is that Sunda?
It's the Black Jew.
Sunda.
Come in, Sunda. Come on the show for a second. This is Sunda, very funny young Black Jew.
Look at her with the legs and the whole thing.
She's bespackled. She's besequined. Look at her. She's got a Jewish star between her tits.
You're on television right now.
Who?
We're on television right now, but we're wrapping it up.
Tell Dr. Harris to go fuck himself.
Go turn around and wave to the people, Sunda. We're live. Say hi.
Hi. I know. This is Dom's show.
I know. Have you ever done it?
Yes, I have.
See, you asked her before me. You asked her before me. Let me ask you something.
Ego?
Who have you known longer?
I'm glad that you came.
Who has more credits?
Would you come back next year?
No.
Please. Come back and do a couple impressions.
I really was the last person.
Look at the insecurity
that you asked.
It's like a factory of laughs. We manufacture laughs here. Do you need some good laughs? Come down to the Laugh Factory.
Carrie Hoffman. There's a guy who does the greatest Carrie Hoffman in the world, Bob DeBono. The greatest Carrie Hoffman in the world. He literally does the thing.
Don't end the show with Carrie Hoffman.
Where Carrie always does this when he's talking, and he's like, "Hello, how are you? Hello, what are you up to? What's going on?" By the way, you know what I just realized? A zit, and I'm let's just say in my 40s, a zit popped out this morning. I don't know if you're blocking.
You want to sit there?
And I was hoping that this podcast wouldn't be. I was hoping this podcast wouldn't be televised because this giant zit, and I realized this is all.
I didn't even notice. You said that's your nose.
She said that's your nose. Now, we opened this about noses, and you said, I don't know.
We didn't open it about noses. We opened it about hate.
Apparently, I'm not the only person who has issues with my own nose.
I don't think you have that Jewy a nose. I think it's more of an Italian.
By the way, if this was fixed, then we got a lawsuit here. Then we have a malpractice. Why not? Are you in suing people? Why is everyone always suing you and you're suing people? You just got Jewish 3 years ago. Like, calm down with the lawsuits. When was it? Can you just...
Come on.
By the way, black people.
Jamie Masada walks in.
Can't you
look who's
blackness?
Jamie, come up here.
Jewishness and stop suing people.
Come
Jamie,
up here.
You missed an hour of just excellent
Just come up
comedy.
and say hello.
Come up and say hi.
I could see that.
I'm going to light this up if you don't come here.
You know what, Jamie? No matter what you said about this guy, I thought he was terrific.
Thank you.
You really saw it, and no matter what I said.
He's worried about being like one of the last chosen people who was chosen.
Why was I chosen last? Why did Sunda go before me? I am one of the best chosen. Jamie, come say hi.
Can you let the people inside, please?
What people? There are people here now?
All right.
No kidding. We talked about it. We're upset.
Would you stop flushing the toilet?
I don't believe that you cried.
Losing control of my show. All right, thank you for
see your
listening.
Eyes. If I want to see swollen
thank you for
eyes,
tuning
if I don't
in.
see swelling, thank you, Don, for having me. It's been
Elon
such a
Gold.
treat. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you. Good night. Look at that. The lights are up.
All right.
See you next week.